My team of 3 criminal psychiatrists and I were assigned to diagnose and treat, as noted, the man named Richard Seaborn, after he murdered a man in cold blood, leaving his friends and family without him forevermore, because Richard selfishly killed the man in his self-declared justified homicide. Richard was sentenced to my care at the Scottsdale Psychiatric Prison for the criminally insane, where Richard still insisted that he was justified in his devastating, deadly actions. Dr. Caselli stated resolutely, Richard is diagnosed as suffering from neurodegeneration, and he has numerous neurological and psychiatric disorders, with the most relevant here being severe bipolar disorder, multiple personality disorder, advanced schizophrenia, narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, with delusions of grandeur. His narcissism is conflicted further by his concurrent Machiavellianism. And of course, he suffers from ongoing progressive psychosis from neurodegeneration. These disorders have manifested in a severe delusion, where Richard sees himself as the ultimate judge of humanity, proclaiming that he is the divine fulcrum, that humanity's very survival pivots over. His narcissism and delusions of grandeur are on full display in his decreeing that he is God's judge of humanity, where he advises Jesus on when it is time for the apocalypse. It is utter madness and nonsense. Richard's dementia, his madness, has culminated further in his conceiving himself to be someone else other than himself altogether. Richard has conceived that to become the fulcrum, he should have a new identity. Richard transformed himself into the character hero Rick Liberty, a warrior, or as he would call himself, a paladin that fights for God and defends righteousness, thereby justifying his extreme, devastating, destructive behavior, therefore justifying his extreme violence, and thusly justifying his complete and total disregard for law and order. To make matters more obvious on how far Richard has degenerated, illustrating, as they say, how much his brains have all dried up, Richard has concluded that his team, God's team, is simply called the G Team. Yes, his G Team he considers to be God's champions, the last of the Knights Templar. Richard's fantasies are insane. Richard and his G Team are extremely disconnected from reality at this point. Richard now uses his alter ego persona of Rick Liberty as his identity. I will attempt to refer to Richard going forward as Rick Liberty to reduce possible confusion.